Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Upgraded Sets. Today we're going to be looking at an infamous set known as Angelic. And before we get started on actually looking at the set, I'm going to tell you a fun story. So back in at 1.0, I don't even remember the exact patch number, but it was when the sets were first getting their set bonuses. I don't know if you guys know this, but sets did not always have green bonuses, and nor did they even have a full set bonus. It was something that was added later on in Lord of Destruction, and when they added the set bonus, the +1 to all skills that you see on the amulet actually had this very interesting bug that it would not be removed from your character when you removed the amulet. So when you put the amulet on, you got +1 to skills, and when you took the amulet off, you kept the +1 to skills, and when you put the amulet on again, you had +2, and when you took the amulet off, you kept the +2, and you could repeat this over and over and over and over and over and over and over until you got +99 to all skills. And boy, what a patch that was. Because those of us who had the set laying around, because we were collectors, we had fun playing around with characters with literally like level 99 charged bolt and level 99 auras and stuff like that, and it was just amazingly fun. They did, however, patch it out, and you can no longer do that, but it was definitely a very, very fun time in Diablo land. Now, Angelic set is a set that has always been held back by its weapon. The Angelic Sickle is just not a good weapon. It never has been a good weapon. Even when you're at level 12, when you finally can put this weapon on, it's just not really that great of a weapon. It really comes down to the fact that it has no enhanced damage on it, although it does have off-weapon ED in the form of undead damage. And it's very fast, but because it's very fast, it also does relatively no physical damage. And I think most people who look at this set see the Angelic Sickle and kind of frown. But now that we are capable of upgrading the set, we're going to be taking a look at this set in a whole different light. So before we go through the process of upgrading, as you can see, I've already got the runes prepared. Let's take a look at the set bonuses. So right off the bat, we have the Angelic Sickle, which is a saber, and it's 5 to 14 damage, which at level 12 is relatively low. It is a very fast attack speed, of course, because sabers do tend to be on the speedier end of the equation. And it only costs 25 dex and 25 strength to put on, which most characters can muster by level 12. It has 75 bonus to attack rating, which is actually very nice for level 12. You definitely need attack rating around that level. And 250% bonus damage to Undead, which functions as off-weapon ED, very similar to the way a Might Aura works. If you ever want to figure this out, just take a Might Merc and just bring him out and let him turn his Might Aura on, and you'll see exactly about how much damage you would get from this, because a max level Might Aura is around 200 to 250%, so you're going to see pretty much the exact same amount of damage you're going to get against Undead. It also has a 30% increased attack speed bonus when you put on at least 2 pieces, and it has a 75% enhanced damage when you put on at least 75% enhanced damage when you put on 2 pieces, and a 30% increased attack speed when you put on 3 pieces. We also get the enhanced damage as off-weapon ED, unfortunately. It doesn't actually function as on-weapon ED, which is really quite sad, because honestly the off-weapon ED here is really high on this particular item, and you can't see a lot of it. Like the bonus damage to Undead, you can't see, like it's not going to show you, and the 75% enhanced damage is an interesting number, because it does beef up your damage. You can see here I'm 9 to 24, and when I put on at least one other piece, I get to 15 to 42, so at least it does have a little bit of enhanced damage there. We also get the armor piece, which is Angelic Mantle, and this is 218 defense, which because it has a green bonus of 150 bonus defense, and to get this you need at least 2 pieces, so as long as you have at least 2 pieces on, you're golden. You also get a 40% enhanced defense on this bad boy, which is pretty nice, and it only costs 36 strength to equip, which is not bad. Damage reduced by 3 actually comes in handy at level 12. It's not going to come in handy later on, but it's decent. And then we also get another green bonus, which requires 3 pieces of 50% fire resistance, which is a pretty nice little amount of fire resistance on here. And that's pretty much it for the armor. The Angelic Wings give 20% damage taken goes to mana, which is very, very nice because it gives you 20% of any damage you take will restore mana. So if you take 100 damage, you will get 20 mana added to your mana pool, and you will still take 100 damage. So it's very nice for keeping your mana up. You get +3 to light radius, which of course nobody really cares about. And you get +1 to all skills, which is probably one of the best things about this amulet. Now, to get the +1 to all skills, you do have to wear at least 3 pieces. That bonus is a 3-piece bonus. So as you can see, even though I have 2 pieces here, that's not going to help me out. You also get 75 to life from the amulet as well, which is very, very nice. And then we move on to the rings. The rings have amazing effects on them, and a lot of people love using the rings and the amulet in concert, and you'll find out why. So the Angelic Halo is level 12. It has 20 to life and Replenish Life 6, so a very nice ring just for trying to stay alive. You also get a green bonus of character-based attack rating, which is very, very powerful. It gives you a huge bonus to your attack rating based on character level, and at level 99, it ends up being just a massive, massive amount of attack rating bonus. And not only can you rock one of these rings, but you can actually rock 2. And that is part of the really cool thing about this set. So the attack rating is actually between 144 to 1,188. And if you have a second ring, you can put that on, and you can actually utilize 2 of these rings for a massive bonus of 2,376. 2,376 to attack rating, which is just massive. And if you have any kind of bonus to attack rating, it's going to beef that up even further, which is freaking great. And not only that, but the Angelic Sickle also gives you 75 to attack rating, which means that you're rocking even more attack rating if you're rocking the entire set. Now, at a lower level, it might be viable to run the Angelic Sickle if you're specifically a character that doesn't need physical damage. Like maybe you're a Holy Freeze Paladin and you're more worried about speed and attack rating. Maybe you're a Fire Claws Druid. Maybe you're, maybe there's a lot of different options that come into play that maybe don't necessarily care too much about damage and want more speed than anything else. This could be an option because you're definitely going to have the attack rating to hit your target, and you're definitely going to have the speed to attack quickly. Now, the 50% bonus to Magic Find, unfortunately, does not happen unless you have at least 2 other pieces, including the rings. So the second ring does not count as a set piece. It does not count at all. So you need an actual third piece to get the 50% bonus to Magic Find. And that means that you need, at the very least, you're going to need the amulet, the armor, and both rings, or the amulet, the sword, and both rings, or the sword and the armor and both rings to get that 50% bonus to Magic Find. Now, with both rings, you do get the 100% bonus to Magic Find. So as long as you have at least 3 pieces, not including the second ring, you will still get the 50% bonus to Magic Find, which is nice. Now, there are a lot of ways that you can utilize the attack rating bonus on this armor, or these rings. You can use the armor and 2 rings. You can use the amulet and 2 rings, which is probably one of the more common methods of doing it. You could also utilize the sword and 2 rings. Whatever 2 pieces that you happen to have, it's all going to work. And of course, this is going to depend on what set armor you're wearing. Like, for instance, if I was rocking Saigon's has no amulet and no ring slots, so I would probably be rocking the amulet and the rings. If I was rocking Iratha's, which has massive resistances, I would be rocking the armor and the rings. If I was rocking, any various combination of items, I can utilize the attack rating on this in various ways. And now that we can upgrade the set and we can get a better idea of, what these pieces might be useful for, if they were upgraded, we'll see. We also have a bonus for putting on a certain number of pieces. So as you can see here, we have a plus 10 to Dexterity for 2 pieces. We've got plus 50 to Mana for 3 pieces. For 4 pieces, which is the full set, we get Regenerate Mana 8%, all resistances 25, half freeze duration, and another 40% Magic Find. So putting on this full set is actually pretty sweet as far as Magic Find is concerned, because if you have 2 rings and the full set, you're rocking 140% Magic Find at level 12, which is pretty darn beast. And you can actually combine this with other sets to get even more Magic Find. Saigon's, for instance, on the 3-piece bonus is 50% Magic Find. So you could be rocking Saigon's boots, Saigon's belt, and maybe Saigon's gloves, and that would get you a nice 50%. The helmet also has a really high amount of attack rating on the Saigon set, so you could be rocking attack rating from the helmet, attack rating from the rings, and you could get 10% lifesteal from Saigon's, as well as 50% Magic Find. So combining Angelics with other sets can be very, very powerful, especially when you're talking about 140% Magic Find combined with the 50% Magic Find on Saigons, and then you're rocking, what, 190%? You could also throw in Millibrega's Shield for another 20%, so you'd be rocking 210% Magic Find, which is pretty beast. And then, you could throw in like Tarnhelm or something, and you could get a little bit more, and you would literally be rocking like some massive amount of Magic Find at a relatively low level. So enough talking about this set. I have gushed about Angelic set already enough. Let's start out with the weapon, shall we? So upgrading the weapon is going to be a big boost in damage, but it's also going to increase the stat requirements, so keep that in mind. So we're going to go from 3 to 8 damage, and we need a Ral, a Soul, a Perfect Emerald. So 3 to 8 damage, fast attack speed, 25 dex, 25 strength, level 12. To a Shamshir, which is 17 to 42 damage, which is actually a hell of a lot better than the crappy damage on the Saber. Very fast attack speed, 58 dex, 58 strength, not bad on the requirements with a level 28. That is actually, in my opinion, a very solid 1-tier upgrade. I am very impressed with that upgrade. And it does seem like the 75% enhanced damage on the green bonus actually does apply as weapon ED. That's very interesting. I guess I really couldn't tell before because the damage was just so low. But notice that the damage on the weapon is 10 to 24, and when you put it on with the 3-piece bonus, it does go to 17 to 42, which does indicate that it is a green bonus that is applying as on weapon ED. Very interesting. We also have a level increase there when we equip it from level 23 to 28. But honestly, I think that's a decent little weapon for level 28, so that should be fine. 17 to 42 is not like the most amazing damage in the world, but it's definitely a hell of a lot better than the previous iteration. The armor can also be upgraded, and we can get a little bit of extra defense out of this. So it's currently only 68 defense with 36 strength and level 12. And we're going to need a shale, a tal, and a perfect diamond. This set is going to go up to 232 defense, 74 strength, and level 25. That's actually a pretty solid upgrade. If I was going to be using Angelic set for any longer period of time than normal difficulty, that would actually be really nice. And it goes up to level 30 when you equip it. So keep that in mind. There have been times where I have used Angelic pieces. Specifically, if I'm rocking Iratha's helmet, gloves, belt, and amulet, I won't have the amulet slot to use for the attack rating bonus on the rings. And rocking the armor instead of the amulet is actually a way that you can still maintain that. So very, very nice first tier upgrades. I'm actually quite impressed with the first tier upgrade on the Angelic Sickle, and I'm quite impressed with the first tier upgrade on the Angelic Mantle. Not a bad upgrades, and should you find yourself still using this for magic finding purposes early game, this could be a pretty solid little magic find set combined with some other stuff, and getting you a little bit more damage and a little bit more survivability out of the package. Now, you can upgrade this set one more time, and we are certainly going to do it. You obviously cannot upgrade the rings or amulets. So let's upgrade the Angelic Sickle one more time. For this, we're going to need a Pull Rune, a Lum Rune, and a Perfect Emerald. And this may not be the best upgrade in the world. I know this, but we're gonna try it out anyway. So we've got 10 to 24 one-handed damage, and it's important to note that it also has 17 to 42 with its bonus. It also has a dexterity of 58, strength of 58, and level requirement of 23, which does go up to 28 when it's equipped. And this will go to 33 to 45, 122 dexterity, 109 strength, which isn't too bad, and level 59 requirement, level 47 when not using a green bonus. And with the 75% ED goes to 57 to 78. Now, unfortunately, that amount of damage is just not really that great. At level 59, 57 to 78 is not enough. Doesn't matter how fast the weapon is, you're not going to be able to pull that off. So upgrading this to the 3rd tier, definitely not worth it. However, it's interesting to see. Maybe if they had changed the 250% damage to Undead to 250% damage to, just enhanced. But of course, that would make it kind of broken in normal difficulty. Who knows? It's always interesting to see how these turn out, and I didn't really think that this was going to be a good 3rd tier upgrade, and it's not. Definitely a good 1 tier upgrade, though. I think that 1 tier upgrade was kind of nice. Now, the Angelic Mantle Link Mail will be able to upgrade one more time, so it's 232 defense, 74 strength, and level 25. And, of course, we can bump this up one more time with a Lem, a Co, and a Perfect Diamond. And this will get us to a Angelic Mantle Diamond Mail, which goes up to 738 defense, 131 strength, and level 66, which, honestly, not bad. If you just look at it from the perspective of 131 strength isn't really that high, and the defense did go up quite a bit, I actually kind of like that. However, at level 66, there's so many better other options to use for this body piece. Unless you just happen to be using Angelic Mantle, for the green bonus. Maybe you just really can't give up your amulet slot. Maybe you obviously are not going to use the Angelic Sickle, and you really don't have any other option, but you really, really want the attack rating bonus. Maybe that is your only option, and upgrading it 2 times might be worthwhile for you then. Or perhaps you really, really want the 50% bonus to Magic Find on both rings, and you're already rocking the amulet, and you don't want to rock the sword, and the Angelic Mantle is your only other choice, and maybe upgrading this twice just to get your 50% Magic Find for a little while might be useful to you. But I don't really see upgrading the Angelic Mantle to the 3rd tier being really all that great, unless you just don't really have any other options. The cost in the runes is a little high for that upgrade. The upgrade from tier 1 to tier 2 is relatively tiny. I mean, it's a shale and a Tau rune and a perfect diamond. Nobody cares about those. I have tons of them sitting on mules, but the upgrade from the tier 2 to the tier 3 is a much more expensive recipe, and that kind of makes this not very viable. I do like the whole idea, though, of upgrading this mantle to the 2nd tier and using it as a Magic Find item in basically Nightmare difficulty as you progress into Hell. That's actually kind of an interesting option, because if you think about it, if you're rocking the amulet, the armor, and the 2 rings, not the sword, you at least are getting a 50% bonus to Magic Find on both rings. You could rock the sword maybe if you're a sorceress, just for the extra 40% Magic Find, and you could also socket the Angelic Mantle with a perfect diamond, increasing the Magic Find another 24%, which is not bad. So you would be rocking, what is that? You would be rocking 140, 50, 64. So 164% with a socketed Angelic Mantle with a perfect diamond in it. And then you could also run the Saigon's 3-piece, so you'd be rocking 164, 74, 84, 94, 104, 214. So you'd be rocking 214% with that. And then you could maybe use a 3 P-Topaz helmet, which would get you another, what, 74%, which is, what, 214 plus 74. So you're looking at 288% magic find, potentially with just like a really crappy little setup. And then you could also run Millibreakas over here. So 280, 298, 318, or 308. So 308% if you throw in Millibrekas. Not awful. Like, just not really awful for just some really low level sets that you could just cobble together. Of course, what would you actually use this on? Well, you'd have to use it on a character that is very skill-based damage, because obviously you're not going to be doing very much damage with that sword. But you know, being able to upgrade the armor so you get more defense would definitely help your survivability. And I guess if you were a character who was elemental damage based, upgrading the sword for a little bit of extra physical damage would help out with life and mana leech. Overall, I'm not super duper impressed with the upgrades on this Angelic set. I feel like I would probably do a 1-tier upgrade on the armor and a 1-tier upgrade on the sword, but other than that, not really much to talk about. A very, very nice set. You'll find lots of these pieces as you level up. There's really no reason to talk about where to find these, because honestly, you're going to find them all the time. And you're going to find them so much that you're going to leave angelic rings on the ground like they're trash, and you're going to leave angelic sabers on the ground like they're trash, and you're even going to leave the armor on the ground like they're trash. Now, usually don't leave the wings on the ground because they're a little bit more rare, but you will find them pretty often as well. But I use them enough that I usually hang on to them, put them in my stash. I mean, it's a one storage space requirement. It's not really that big of a deal. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when we are talking about the heavenly, holy, angelic raiments. And as always, keep watching.
But the nanay! But the nanay! He said you got more.